On this video, I'm going to show you how to make this really great gift card holder. So as you can see, it looks like a regular card on the front. And when you open it, it has this great little side pocket that holds a gift card. And here, you leave a little space to write a message. You could also stick a note in there or even cash. So I think it has a lot of opportunity to create something really nice, perfect with this ice cream stamp set, but also it would be great with any of our stamp sets and any of our patterns. So let's see how we make it. All right, let me go ahead and spotlight my desktop, and there we go. So here we are, and I'm using the really beautiful Bermuda Bay cardstock here, and then the coordinating ice cream designer series paper, but this can be done with anything. So when I first learned how to make this is a Debbi Green design. She's on the Why Not Stamp Everything team with me. She made it as part of an event that we were doing. So she made multiples to teach other people. And so she actually made several patterns with the same thing, and it was just before Christmas. So she made some Christmas ones, some birthday ones. So truly it is very, very versatile. So I want to show you a few tips and tricks along the way. And so we will start with my first little trick. These are the pieces. So if you're in my class, this is the, this is what you're going to be starting with, these pieces here. And what you want to do, you have your cardstock here, and the score marks are on the right and then in the center. And a little bit is cut off, so it's not a full 11-inch piece of paper. And then if you lay these out, these will be going on the front in this order. And then when we flip it over, we'll add in this piece of designer series paper. These are what you'll be stamping your front image on, and also the interior image. And this are both pool party. So it coordinates very nicely with the Bermuda Bay and looks really great with this designer series paper. So the flip side is the polka dot. So most of our papers, if you're using any of them, then the flip side usually coordinates quite well with the other side. So that's a very quick and easy way to figure out what will coordinate with what. So let me set these aside for now. I don't want to forget this step. So what I'm going to show you, if you get you can use a circle punch, or you can use the ice cream cone punch. This is a half of a circle, so we can use it quite easily. Go ahead and take this smaller piece of designer series paper, make sure that sides are even, and scooch it up here to the edge of the Bermuda Bay cardstock. Okay. Make sure it's right there. And then go ahead and take your punch and go about, you want to try and get as center as possible. And you're just making a little half circle indentation. And this is for a thumb pull. So you can go as deep or as shallow as you want. I think that'll be good. My paper moved, so when I cut it, it was up here. And all I have to do now is slide it back, look at the margins around the edges, and it should be 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to flip that over and use a little of the Stampin' Seal. I need to bring this up to the top so that the adhesive is right on the roller. And as I snail through, if I snail or seal and end in the vertical position, then it will be easier for that glue to stay right on the tip. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere this just like that. Perfect. Okay, so then I know this piece is going here and I want to keep it going with the polka dots. Of course, you can do it as you wish. I didn't end in a vertical. So the glue, it's a little heated from all the lamps I've got going on. So it's gooey and sticky. So if I end on the vertical, it makes it easier for me to start the roll again. And positioning that in the center. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and fold at my score mark here. A little glue on my finger that I don't want to get on the card. I'm just folding this over using my bone folder. Folding again, using my bone folder. And so now I need to create the pocket. So to do that, I either want to add some tape and tear here on the edges or add some of my seal. So I have this right here. So I'm actually going to use the Stampin' Seal Plus because it's a very strong bond. You can use like a regular green glue, the Tombow glue as well. But it will take just a little extra to dry, not too much. But you don't want to get it all. You want to keep it right on the edges and make sure it doesn't spread in if you go ahead and use the green glue. So this is what I'm talking about when I say green glue. So it's Tombow multi-purpose glue. And it does dry clear, and that's not a problem. It's that you want to make sure that you can put your gift card in the hole. Okay, so that's enough space. And I'm just going to press it down there. And then this is the front of the card. This is the inside. So I'll put this piece of designer series paper or DSP here. And I really like the flip side, the mix of colors. So that's what really draws in the Bermuda Bay and the pool party and the old olive of the polka dot. Okay. All good there. So it is now time to stamp. So I'm gathering my white pieces. I'm going to set this on the side so I don't get any ink on it. Okay, so for my cards, I actually did the happy birthday first on the front. So that leaves me more wiggle room to place the popsicle. So let me grab my happy birthday. And as we go, remember that it's photopolymer. So we want to make sure that you're stamping on something other than a hard surface. So I have this foam pad here. There's the other foam pad that comes with the Stamparatus, which is very good to use also. If you don't have something like this, a magazine is good, or a stack of paper, just something with a little give. You'll get a much better impression. So I've inked up my happy birthday and I'm going to look through. That's what I like about the photopolymer is you can see right through the stamp and you know exactly where you're stamping. And you can see mine is a little purple because I used it in the Blackberry Bliss. So those purple colors tend to stain the rubber, but it doesn't do anything, doesn't degrade the stamp at all. So I shall set that aside. And I wanted to do, I like this stamp. Where's that one? I believe it says treat yourself if I've grabbed the right one. Nope, this one says you melt my heart, which is also good. But since it's a gift card holder, I want to do treat yourself. So I'm going to put that here, right there. Treat yourself. Fun. Now for the popsicles. Let's do this one first. The popsicle is a two-step stamp. So this is the bottom and this is the top. So because there are two, you can layer them right on top of each other on the paper, or you can stretch them out so you can kind of make it smaller or larger. And then you know how a popsicle, like when you suck on it there and you squeeze the juice out of it, it becomes a little whiter on the top, or it can be frosty on the bottom and real juicy on the top. So you could, that's this look here. So it's a little frosty on the bottom and a little deeper in shade on the top to give it a little more realistic look. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. And to achieve that effect, I'm going to stamp, ink up my thing, ink up my stamp, stamp off once. And I'm going to do it here first. So I'm actually going to go this way with it. That's called a second generation stamp because you've stamped it off once elsewhere. And this is gonna, it's a first generation stamp. I'm lining it up. Okay, so it's a firm, I don't want to rock it. I want to just ever so slightly just firmly press it in. That came out nicely. And let me do the same with this. Although let me get out of my drawer here. I have a Post-it note. I'm going to use that when I put on the stick. So why don't I do this one first? I'm going to do it again. I like the frost on the bottom. So we'll do it just like that. I'm centering it more on the paper. And on the top, ooh, ooh, we went a little dark there. Sorry about that. We need to plug in. I will do that quickly here. I was on my phone a little today, and that's what I'm recording with. Okay, I think we're good here. Back in business. All right, so I'm not sure what I missed on that, but I stamped the second generation with this one. And then I'm going in full strength with the top of it. And again, I get to choose, like I can make it smaller or larger, and I don't want to go off the paper by too much. So I'm going to keep this a little smaller. And stamp that. So they're quite similar. This one's a little bit longer to me. It looks a little. One is on top of the other and you won't see them at the same time. So that's all good. So I don't want my popsicle stick here to go on to my happy birthday. So what I'm going to do is just cover that text. And then when I go ahead to stamp the image, I'm not going to need to worry about stamping over it. So for the stick, I am using crumb cake. Any color could be used. I know they do have different colors of sticks now. Some of them are plastic. And I do want to point out, there are two stamps in your set. This one here is what I've been using for the stick. And this one is what I used the first time I did it and realized it's actually quite large and it doesn't really match this. So I thought it was an outline for that stamp. It's not. It's actually, if you're doing a popsicle or a fudgesicle, then you would make those indentations there. So pretty cute. Pretty cute. So I'm going to use just this little one to make my stick and try and go center. And I'm pushing a little harder than I might otherwise because I'm going over the rim of the paper there. So then if I just tear this off, perfect. It looks great. And I have not gone into my birthday text. And on this one, I don't have text below it, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to position it. Just like that. Great. Love the photopolymer. You can see through and you know where you're stamping. Okay, so let me close my ink. Oh, you know what I'll do? Because we don't like naked envelopes, I'm going to do one here. So we'll do the two-step stamping again. And close. Wait to close that and open this one. So we have them both open at the same time with the Bermuda Bay. I'm going with the lower. Stamp off once. Stamp there. and do a full strength or a first generation stamp there. Okay. And let me find my stick, my popsicle stick. Stamp this. Great. Love it. Now I will close these inks so I don't rub the edge of my card in them by mistake. Envelope. And we'll set these on the other side since they are inked up. I might have done that before, a time or two. So now take precautions. All right, so here are my two Pool Party. These are exactly the same size. And I'm going to put adhesive on the backs. And I'm going to use my seal. So when I'm doing this kind of layering, I always put my adhesive on the piece that's being adhered. That way I don't run the edge, like the adhesive over the edge too far and then have it sticky or have to redo it. Okay. So that's the inside. And we'll do the exterior now. Okay. And here we are. So now to get this lined up with this one, we're going to center this one first, close the cover, put adhesive only on the left back side, and then put it right on. And I'm not using any dimensionals with this card. I am going to just use the seal. So this is my front, and I look here and I'm gonna put some adhesive on it. Whoops, I went over. A little out of control here. It's a very rainy day here for us. So I think the humidity is playing with my glue a little bit too, making it a little more flowing than it has been with our cold temperatures. All of that does matter when you're crafting. Okay, so now I'm going to center this. Great. And as I do this one, I only want to put glue on this back side here, not on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to flip it so I can see that I can put adhesive there, adhesive here, and I'm going to even use a little bit of the extra, the Seal Plus, because it's a very strong bond. And then, very simply, I'm lining it up with the one below it. There we are. And it pops right up. Remember, no seal on this side, otherwise it's going to stick to the underneath. So with that, depending on your recipient, if it's more masculine, you might not want to add too much bling. You could add Wink of Stella here to this little popsicle. On one of my cards, I started to add some of these opal rhinestones there, the opal gems. And they're really pretty. They pick up some color. They look great with the purples too. So I might add those in, do a couple with those and a couple without. And that is Debbi Green's wonderful gift card holder. I can't wait to see what you make yours with in the future.